Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to ask a question I've gotten a lot over the last year or so, which is how to get the most out of your planner. And in this video, I'm going to talk specifically to goal planners, but a lot of these ideas can be translated to your regular planner. But since we talk about goals here on my channel, I am going to give you 5 tips, things to remember on how to get the most out of your goal planner. And these tips can apply to any goal planner that you have used. I have created my own at this point because I just wanted something that worked perfectly for me. And I really appreciate how many of you are enjoying using it as well. But these tips can be applied to any goal planner that you decide to use for the new year. Number 1 is don't skip pages. Now, I am probably being a little bit of a hypocrite with this one because I have definitely been known to skip pages in the past when I have used other goal planners. But I would encourage you, especially if it is your first time using a goal planner from a specific company, that you don't skip the pages. Those companies, myself included working on my planner, go through a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of thought that goes into what they decide to include, especially those companies printing physical products. They're really thoughtful about whether that page deserves to be in their goal planner. And then within that very limited page size, what questions do they want to include? What sections are important to their goal setting process that they are walking you through in their planner? They're very thoughtful about that. So if you are using a goal planner, I would encourage you to the best of your abilities to use every page that they have given you. Now, I am not saying to not make things work for you. There might be one little tweak that you want to make that you're like, this question doesn't make sense for my life, or this one category doesn't really work for me, so I'm gonna use it. I'm not saying don't do those things, because a used goal planner is always gonna be better than a not used goal planner, which we'll get to in a second. But when it comes to using all the pages, I would encourage you to do that. And again, I have been very guilty in the past of not doing this. I can think back to a couple years ago when I didn't use the quarterly refreshes, when I was using the power sheets and I skipped over those pages. That probably hindered me to some extent when it came to checking in with my annual goals and continuing to make progress throughout the year. Now, does it mean I was a complete failure and didn't make progress? No, and that's not what I'm saying here for you as well. If you want to skip a page, you want to change something, you do you. Again, I would rather you use that planner than not, but I would encourage you, again, especially if it's your first year or you're new-ish to goal setting, use all the pages in your goal planner. Number 2 is to let go of perfection. And this applies to goal setting in general because you're gonna make more progress the more you let go of perfection. But as it pertains to the actual planner, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna write something somewhere you didn't want to. You're not gonna like the way that your handwriting looked on that page. You're gonna use a pen that you didn't like. You're gonna pick up the wrong color highlighter. Something's gonna happen and you're gonna mess up. That's okay. That's when you need to let go of the perfection. This is not a work of art. Even if you are sharing your planner pages in a Facebook group or on social media, it is about using the product and continuing to use it to make progress on your goals, not having it look as perfect as possible. Another way that it's gonna not be perfect is life is gonna happen. Something is gonna pop up and the plans that you put down on that goal planner aren't going to come to fruition for whatever reason. And you're gonna have to make a change. And whether you become team cross off and you move things around, or you just know that you're not gonna get to that one particular item, it's not going to be absolutely perfect every single week, every single month. And so the sooner you let go of that and realize that your goal planner is not going to be a perfect planner. I mean, no planner is gonna be a perfect planner, right? But specifically, your goals are not going to be perfect every single time, the quicker that you're gonna be able to focus on the progress that you are making. I have never, in the almost 6 years of using a specific goal planner, have had a month where I have checked everything off. It has never happened. And if that is the kind of perfection that you're struggling with, that is never going to happen. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's never gonna happen. You are going to miss days. You are going to not complete things. There are going to be things that don't happen. Even if you think that you are being so realistic and you are being very thoughtful about what you put down on that piece of paper, I promise you're gonna miss days and it's not gonna be perfect. But once again, that doesn't mean that you're not gonna make progress. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that we have to let go of that attachment to perfection in order for goal planners and goal progress to be made. Number 3 is to stay consistent. And remember that consistent doesn't have to mean every single day. Consistency means that you are using it regularly, whatever regularly means for you. If at the beginning you need to check in with your goal planner every day, do it. If you can set up a rhythm to check in with your goal planner once a week, do that. I actually did a video last year that was how to use your goal planner more, which this video does have a little bit of overlap with this, but this one is how to get the most out of it. And one of the ways to get the most out of it is to make sure that you're actually using it. I rewatched that whole video in preparation for this one. I would rewatch it. It was just a year ago. All of those tips are still true. If using it is your biggest struggle when it comes to a goal planner, like whether it's remembering to set it up, remembering to check in with it, whatever it is, go back and watch that video. I bet something is gonna click for you that's going to help make sure that you use your goal planner in 2024. Number 4, and I talked about this in that video too, but it is worth repeating and elaborating on in this one, is do not compare. You are going to get the most out of your goal planner if you are focused on you and your journey and your goals and your life. Nobody in the entire world has a life that looks like yours. Nobody. You might look at somebody else, and whether that's somebody on the internet, a YouTuber that you watch, or a fellow member of a goal planning community, or it's somebody in your real life, whatever it is, you might look at somebody else and think, we have really similar lives. And it's possible that you have a very similar life to somebody else, but it's not exactly the same. There is at least one, if not a lot of things about each and every one of our lives that differ from the other person. Our resources are different. Our whys are different. Our personalities are different. Our motivations are different. Whether we're a morning person or a night person could be different. And so you cannot compare what you're doing and your goals and your progress to anybody else. You cannot, because no life is exactly the same as anybody else's. And so if you are focused on what it is like, and so if you are focused on comparing your goals and wanting them to look like somebody else's, mine included, like I share my goals on this channel. I upload, not right now because I'm out taking care of a newborn, literally the day that this video is going up. It's the first Monday of the month. Normally the first Monday of the month is my goals video. This is probably the first time in almost 5 years that I have not had a goal video go up at this time, and we're doing this video instead. I share my goal journey with you to show the ups and downs, to show that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, to really sometimes talk through my own process, and I get ideas when I talk and film. And for those of you who do have similar goals, I hope that you get ideas from my goals videos. But I always want you to remember that your life is different than mine, even if we do have similar lives. And so I would never want you to feel like you have to take my exact goal steps and make them yours in order to be successful. It's just one option. It's one idea of an action step, which, by the way, there's a whole series on action steps coming next month. Click subscribe. It's gonna be great. I've gotten help from the community, and sorry, I'm just very excited about that series. And so if you just remember to focus on your own goals, your own life, and what you need related to that goal, you are going to be able to get more or the most out of your goal planner. And number 5 is really more of a mindset to remember. It's a reminder. And I know that's not your favorite. You want like a practical tip, but this is very important. Your life is more than what's on your goal planner. And you have to remember that when you are setting it up. So what I mean, actually this is a practical tip. What I mean by that is that you are thoughtful about what you're putting down on that page, because there are things happening in your life outside of that. And I've incorporated this into my goal planner because I think it's very important. We need to think about what our month looks like at a glance and what our lives look like outside of our personal goals before we can set those goals. What are your time commitments? What else do you have going on this month? What are your emotional commitments that you have going on? What's the weather gonna be like? What does that do to your energy levels? What are your family members up to? What are your kids up to? Are they home? Are they going back to school? Is there a big transition for them? What else do you have going on that could hinder progress on your goals? When we forget that there's life outside of our personal goals, when we get into the mode that we're setting our goals, our action steps for the month, we're working on our goal planners, we can put blinders on. And we pick the action steps we're excited about. We pick the action steps that sound good. We pick all the action steps, right? We fill up every line of that page. And then all of a sudden, that plan for the month becomes really unrealistic. And then the month starts happening and you quickly realize that you're not gonna do everything on that page. And maybe some of you are similar to me in that you can look at your page and I'll look at it and I know I'm not gonna get to all those things, and that's okay. Sometimes I will just cross things off at the beginning of the month once I realize that, or in the middle of the month. But either way, I know I'm not gonna check everything off, and mentally I can work through that. But if you are somebody who gets really demotivated when you start realizing that you're not gonna check all those things off, you have got to start to remind yourself that there is life outside of your goal planner. And what are those other things you have going on that you have to keep in mind before you set your action steps for that individual month? Every month looks different. Every week looks different depending on what goal planner you're using. And so keeping that in mind, what else you have going on before you pick those action steps is absolutely key to getting the most out of your goal planner, because then that plan is going to be realistic. Like I mentioned, I did create a goal planner that I created for me, something that I wanted to use, and I have tried to be very thoughtful about incorporating pages and questions that help you with all of these things and make sure you're keeping them front of mind as you go through the process. So if you want to check it out, there is a Q4 version available. It is not too late to set goals for Q4 if you want to try that one out, just one quarter. And then the 2024 version is coming very soon. So make sure you're signed up for my email list. I'll leave the link down below, and the information about the 2024 full year version of my goal planner will be going out very soon. That is gonna be it for this video though. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. Community, we can't talk. Yours, at least because